Well, hello, good evening. Brandon here, Chief Business Strategist, going solo with tonight's episode. This is not pitch practice, the show tonight. Tonight, I am rehashing the three biggest lead generation mistakes small businesses make that keep them broke. And we're going to talk about how to overcome them all. So, uh, been waiting here patiently. I don't know what's been going on this past week for you, but we only have, what is it? This is the 10th today. We only have 21 more days till the end of the year, and they're going to go by very, very quickly. So I hope you got all your shopping done. You got all your Christmas gifts wrapped and under the tree, ready to go. Your personal gifts, as we know, Santa Claus is coming. Is going to bring those extra special gifts to all the good little boys and girls, and to all the good, business owners out there. You don't want to be a bad business owner and get coal, and that's essentially what's going to happen in 2026 if you continue to make these three lead generation mistakes. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get on with the show. All right, let's get this. Let's get this shared here. All righty. All righty. All righty. All righty. Let's change this layout so you can at least see my smiling face as we go again. You notice I changed the presentation slide up a little bit, try to dress it up. I didn't quite get everything done I needed to do, but regardless of that, let's just keep on keeping on. All right. So a little bit of housekeeping. Real quick, I want you to put all distractions away. I'm going to go over a lot of information very, very quickly, and you will want to stay with me. All right. Do not worry about taking notes. You will get the full presentation and my speaker notes afterwards. I'll give you a link to that at the end of the show. Also, if you noticed, I did a little bit of a rebranding since the last time I did this. Brand on Growth Lab. That's the new deal. That's the new deal I'm going to be doing my consulting under right now. So BKXX Enterprise is still the holding company, still tied to the family there, but for a little bit better marketing aspect of it and brand recognition, we're going with Brand On Growth Lab. So Brandon, that's me. Yeah, your chief business strategist is going with Brand On Growth Lab. Any case, all right. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments below. I'm streaming this on Facebook. I'm streaming this on YouTube and Twitter and LinkedIn. So if you got any questions, leave them in the comment section. I'll go back, rehash them, and send you a message with the answer. And again, do my best to follow up with everybody. So don't hesitate to hit that follow button and that like button too. Make sure you catch the next live that I do. So, who am I? Who is Brandon? So, a little bit about me. I'm a husband and father of two. I'm absolutely obsessed with sales and the psychology of marketing. All right, and figuring out how people and why they make the buying decisions that they do. I actually have a degree in biochemistry, Kent State University. I know it's absolutely crazy that I have a degree in chemistry, but it was a late night infomercial when I was actually working in a chemistry lab that kind of put me down this path. And because I was working night shift at a pharmaceutical plant, there really isn't much on TV at all, except for infomercials when you get home, because TV doesn't start until about 8 or 9 o'clock, and I was catching the tail end of it at the 6, 7 o'clock hour that I was home before I crashed and slept all day. So, and it was that infomercial that was talking about sales and selling. Okay, and there was an offer to buy this course or kit or whatever on how to learn how to sell, and I never bought it, but it just the key concepts like just drilled in my head. Like, do I want to continue to punch a clock and exchange my time for money, or do I want to use a skill such as speaking and selling to make money? And Selling, one to many or selling a product and earning a commission was uh, after I did the math, was a lot more lucrative than punching the time clock. So if you've been looking for a simple, proven, step-by-step method to generate more leads for your business, this presentation is exactly what you need. So I want you to pay attention to every word because it will completely change how you think about marketing. So I want you to stop for a moment and think about all the ads that you've seen over the past week. How many of those can you name off? Because researchers estimate that over the past 7 days, you've been exposed to as many as 117,000 ads. And so out of those 117,000 ads, how many can you name? I mean, if you're fairly attentive, you may be able to come up with 3 or 4 specific ads that you've seen. But I'll bet that's because you've probably seen those ads over and over, week in and week out. So let's not ignore, a key fact of advertising, that repetition works. And when you see advertisements multiple times, every day, day after day, you're bound to eventually begin to recall that ad. But now answer this question. Of the few ads you do remember, how many of those companies' products have you purchased? Probably not many. Now, how many of you remember this ad? You drop it in the comments if you can name the company. All right, I'll admit, I personally loved the E-Trade baby commercials. Okay, they were funny, they were clever, they stood out. It was cool seeing a baby talk like an adult. And now with AI, you can recreate the same thing yourself at home. And honestly, if one of those old commercials came on, I'd stop what I was doing and go watch it because they were funny and entertaining. But here's the important part. And yes, I do have an E-Trade account, but it did take years for me to finally sign up. And when I did, it had nothing to do with the baby. It wasn't the commercial that made me choose them over any of the hundreds of other trading platforms. So let me ask you, I mean, what benefit did that commercial offer me as a potential customer? It's a baby talking next to a stack of money, right? How did a snarky, wisecracking baby help me understand E-Trade's fees, their tools, their platform's reliability, or why they were the better choice over their competitors? I mean, it really didn't. And that's the point. Small businesses can't afford to wait years for customers to eventually wander in because they like something about the brand from 10, 20 years ago. You don't have the luxury of building a decade-long multi-million-dollar branding campaign just to be memorable. Cute, clever, funny ads don't pay the bills, not for small businesses. So why does E-Trade keep making commercials like this? Well, believe it or not, there is a reason. And by the end of this presentation, you'll understand exactly what it is and why it doesn't work for small businesses like yours. Because businesses today are told that they need to just do some type of attention grabbing marketing, and that's all they need to do. Make a funny ad, go viral, do something loud or clever that leads, and leads will magically pour in. But nothing can be further from the truth, folks. And that's just the marketing piece. Because even if you did manage to grab the attention, there's still the bigger question. How do you turn that attention into fast, predictable cash? Because every small business needs fast cash flow, not someday, not eventually, not after a long branding campaign. You need it now. So, how do you actually make that happen as a small business owner? And beyond that, what about the profits? Because generating more revenue is great, but if none of it ends up in your pocket at the end of the day, what's the point? So, let me ask you this. How would you feel if I could cut through all the hype, strip out all the BS, and give you the proven step by step roadmap that actually makes your phone ring? A roadmap that pulls qualified prospects straight to your website and finally shows you how to market your business in a way that works every single time. Well, that's exactly what I'm going to do for you during this presentation. I'm going to reveal to you the 3 biggest lead generation mistakes small business owners make and show you how you can overcome them all. So here we go. And I'm going to apologize in advance. I didn't get a chance to check all these slides, make sure the text works, but we're just going to roll with it. All right. Because that's what we do. So, mistake number one, small business owners fail to get professional help. Mistake number two, they don't know the fundamentals required to successfully market their business and attract as many new clients as their business can handle. And mistake number three, small business owners have no idea how to use their marketing to generate immediate cash flow. So let's explore these in a little bit more detail. Going into mistake number one, small business owners fail to get professional help. And let me put that into perspective for you. Can you imagine a single professional athlete who does not have a coach? You can't. They don't exist. Tiger Woods had 9 coaches, one for a swing, one for a short game, one for strength, one for conditioning, and even financial advisors and mindset coaches. So if the greatest performers in the world need guidance to stay sharp, competitive, and profitable, do small business owners think they can get on without any help? And that's the mistake in itself. Trying to do everything alone. You remember that TV ad we talked about earlier? That ad was created by a so-called professional. But here's the truth most people don't realize. A lot of those professionals have no idea what they're actually doing. They're following the same old outdated playbook, using the same tired tricks, and repeating the same mistakes over and over. Everything they're doing in the modern marketing world is wrong. And I'm not asking you to take my word for it. I'm going to prove it to you right now. If you're currently using any kind of marketing, whether it's a print ad, a brochure, a postcard, a flyer, or heck, even your website, I want you to pull it up, grab it, and look at it closely. Okay. Got your phone there, pull it up on your phone. And if you don't have any marketing pieces right now, I want you to just kind of pause for a moment. I want you to grab a sheet of paper. I want you to sketch out what you think an effective ad for your business should look like. Nothing fancy, doesn't have to be designed very well. I just want a simple outline. Think about where your headline would go, where the image would be, what the main message is. I want you to go ahead and do that right now and go. I'll give you 30 seconds. All right. Now that you got your current ad or your rough mock-up sitting in front of you, would you let me provide you with a little known secret that produces more leads than your business can handle? But first, here's something, again, that most people don't realize. 99% of marketing professionals have no idea about lead generation uh, tactics and secrets that I'm about to show you. They've never been taught it. They don't use it, and that's exactly why their campaigns fall flat. But once you understand these principles, once you see how they actually work, you will immediately step into the top 1% of lead generation professionals in the world today. And this next slide will make it crystal clear. And it will show you exactly why every small business owner needs a proven step-by-step roadmap before they try to market anything. And what I'm talking about here is the conversion equation. This is what real marketing professionals understand and what they help you implement. It's the backbone behind every successful lead generation system. And when you apply this equation in the right way, you stop competing on price forever. Instead, you finally start selling your product or service for what it's actually worth. The simple framework can increase your advertising response by 10 to 100 times, bringing in more qualified leads and convert a higher percentage of them into paying customers. So you're going to get more leads, more sales, and more revenue, and a much bigger return on every marketing dollar you spend. And the bottom line, you create a profit faucet, one that you control completely. You turn it up when you want more business, you turn it down when you're at capacity. And that's the power of the conversion equation. So before we even get into the conversion equation, you first need to understand what marketing is actually supposed to do. And most people get it completely wrong. Marketing has 3 specific jobs. The first job of marketing is to capture the attention of your target market. If you fail here, nothing else matters. Attention is the gateway to everything that follows. The second job of marketing is to give your prospect hope. Hope that if they keep reading or listening, they'll get the information they need to make the smartest buying decision possible. Your marketing should teach them how to recognize real value and help them conclude that you and only you offer the best value in your category. The third thing that marketing is supposed to do is lower the risk of taking the next step. Your prospects should feel safe, confident, and informed. And if needed, your marketing should continue to educate them so the value becomes undeniable. And when your marketing accomplishes these objectives, something powerful happens. Your prospects come to one single unavoidable conclusion: they would have to be an absolute fool to do business with anyone else but you, regardless of price. But here's a fun, or maybe not so fun fact for you. It's estimated that up to 96% of small businesses fail within the first 5 years. And the biggest reason for that massive failure rate comes down to one thing: they don't know how to generate leads consistently or make the phone ring on demand. Most small business owners have never been taught the three core jobs marketing is supposed to accomplish. And they don't know how to capture attention, they don't know how to create hope, and they don't know how to lower the risk and educate prospects in a way that builds trust. But there's another problem layered on top of that, one most business owners never even consider. Most businesses use a tactical marketing approach instead of a strategic approach. Running an ad in the local newspaper, sending out an email or direct mail piece, putting a spot on radio or TV, those are all tactical marketing activities. And don't get me wrong, newspaper, radio, TV, direct mail, they can all be incredibly effective channels if your marketing message is powerful and compelling. But that's exactly where the real problem lies. Because the message, the strategy behind the ad, is the strategic side of marketing, and ironically, it's the part most small businesses neglect entirely. This distinction between strategic marketing and tactical marketing is massive, and you need to be crystal clear about it anytime you think about generating more leads. Most companies assume that lead generation automatically means tactical activities. You know, placing an ad in the paper, sending out mailers, joining networking groups, setting up booths at trade shows, building follow-up systems, and so on. But they fail to realize that the strategic side of the coin, what you say in your marketing and how you say it, is almost always more important than the marketing medium where you deliver that message. And if you don't make this distinction, you end up blaming the wrong thing. You get jaded towards the certain marketing channels that should be part of your tactical plan, but you eliminate them from consideration simply because they didn't work for you in the past. The truth is, they didn't work because the message was wrong, not because the channel was. When lead generation results fall flat, small business owners almost always blame the marketing medium. It must have been the newspaper. The postcards didn't work. The platform was the problem. They look at the tactical part of the plan and completely ignore the strength or weakness of the strategic message inside that marketing piece. So you'll hear things like, "We tried online funnels and they don't work for our kind of business," or "We mailed 50,000 postcards and only got 3 orders. Direct mail just doesn't work." But here's the reality: just because it didn't work doesn't mean it won't work. Most of the time, the channel isn't broken, the message is. So most business owners don't have the evaluation skills or the know-how to judge whether poor marketing results from poor strategy or poor tactical execution. And this is where our step-by-step roadmap can generate more leads than your business can handle. For example, most small business owners rely heavily on platitudes in their marketing. They say things like, "We have the lowest prices. We're family or veteran owned and operated. We have the best value. We have the best service. We offer convenient hours." I mean, look at your own marketing that I asked you about earlier. How many of those platitudes did you use in that ad that you created? Or how many platitudes are on your website right now? Most small business owners have been trained, almost conditioned to believe that this is the right way to market. And why? Because this is the exact same formula used by majority of the advertising out there, even by the Fortune 500 companies. But here's the problem. As human beings, we're all after the same thing when we're ready to buy, and that's the best deal. And when your marketing is loaded with platitudes and empty jargon, there's no way for anyone to tell who's actually offering the best deal. Everyone claims to have the lowest prices, the highest quality, the best services, the best rates. So who do you end up believing? And there's only one real way to know now. You have to research every single business that sells what you're looking for. But how many people have the time or the patience to do that? Almost none. So you know what happens? People assume every business is basically the same. And because they can't see any meaningful difference, they default to the one thing they can compare, and that's the lowest price. And that's exactly how businesses get trapped in destructive price competition. The conversion equation will change all of that for you forever. Okay. It's going to be the backbone of your strategic marketing plan. It's the foundation on which everything else I can build for you is based. So let me give you a quick overview and then spend some time going through it with you in detail. The conversion equation has four main components. First, we must interrupt your prospect. We must get your qualified prospect to pay attention to your lead generation marketing. Simple enough to say, but a lot more difficult to pull off in real life unless you understand what you're about to learn here. The interrupt is done with your headline if your marketing is in print, or if it's the first thing you say if you're marketing through radio or TV. The second component is engage. Once your prospect is interrupted, it's critical we give your reader the promise that information is forthcoming and that will help the prospect make the best buying decision possible. In other words, it must help facilitate their decision to pick you over anyone else. And that's the job of the subheadline. Again, the interrupt is the headline that highlights a specific problem that your prospects are looking for a solution to. And the engage is the subheadline that promises them that you offer the solution to the problem that was mentioned in the headline. The third component that is needed is the educate component. So once we've interrupted and engaged the prospect, we have to educate and give information that allows them to logically understand how and why you solve the problem they're facing. This is accomplished by giving detailed, quantifiable, specific, and revealing information. This is typically done by the body copy of the ad. When we educate, we need to reveal to the prospects the important and relevant information they need to know when making a good decision, and that your business and your business alone provides it to them. The interrupt and engage hits the prospect's emotional hot buttons. The educate is the logic they need to justify picking up the phone and calling you or pulling out their credit card to make the online purchase. And the fourth and final component of the conversion equation is the offer. Now, we've interrupted the prospect based on the problems that are important to them, engaged by a promise of the solution, and they've examined the educational information that makes your solution real and believable. The last step we need to take is to give them a low-risk way to take the next step in your sales process. We do this by offering a free marketing tool, such as a report, brochure, seminar, audio, video, or something that will continue to educate them. Your offer will allow your prospect to feel in control of the final decision to call and buy from you. So again, to quickly recap, conversion equation is interrupt, engage, educate, and offer, and together they equal market domination. Now here's the problem. Most marketing today only contains two of these components. They interrupt by throwing something out at you that's either familiar, like Taylor Swift, or unusual, like a giant inflatable monkey or talking pets. Sometimes they like to use both, as in the case of the E-Trade baby. Then once they grab your attention, they make you some type of offer such as call now or whatever. And they've left out the engage and educate, and marketing seldom succeeds when that happens. In fact, the only time this type of marketing does succeed is when you can afford to run the ad over and over nonstop for an extended period of time. I mean, how many times have you seen these ads? Plop, plop, fizz, fizz. Melts in your mouth, not in your hand. And things go better with Coke. All those slogans have literally been rammed down our throats by Fortune 500 types for years. And after hearing these slogans thousands of times, of course, we're going to remember them. But how can a small business owner like you that doesn't have $1 billion marketing budget successfully market your business? The answer is you can't unless you follow the entire conversion equation. And here's a simple example to prove this to you. What I have for you is a couple classic case studies that have implemented the conversion equation and saw great results. The first one I have for you here is a moving company that was struggling to get leads. Because years ago, this moving company was on the verge of bankruptcy. They were paying about $3,000 per month for full page ad in their yellow page directory. They were averaging just 70 calls per month, and the conversion ratio was only 16%. So out of the 70 calls every month, they were only getting about 11 moving jobs. And so no wonder they were starving. The reason their ad wasn't working was their failure to follow the conversion equation. They didn't even have an offer to call for a free quote. I mean, just look at the ad. They had no interrupt at the top of their ad whatsoever, just the name of the company. And then they listed all the generic Me Too services and platitudes that every one of their competitors also listed in their ads. And so, again, look at your own marketing. And does your marketing look exactly the same as this? Did you place the name of the business at the top, list your products and services in the middle, along with a layer of worthless and meaningless platitudes such as the lowest prices, highest quality, and best rates? If you want your phone to start ringing, then you must follow the conversion equation of interrupt, engage, educate, and offer. Okay. After connecting with a consultant that knew a thing or two about the copywriting and the conversion equation, this moving company redesigned their lead generation ad, and here's what they did. First, they identified the biggest problem their customers had when moving. And without hesitation, it was damage. 72% of all moves resulted in something being damaged. That's the area they needed to focus on and create what's called a market dominating position. But why is damage such an important issue, since all moving companies listed in the yellow pages said they were fully insured? Well, it turned out that all movers must be fully insured, but that the general public has no idea what fully insured really means. So when you hear someone say they're fully insured, don't automatically assume that if they break your $5,000 TV, they will reimburse you $5,000. Because it turns out that in the moving business, that isn't what fully insured means at all. Legally, a moving company can claim they're fully insured because their insurance is based on a per pound of damage, and the national average is 40 cents per pound. So, in other words, if a mover destroys that $5,000 100-pound TV, they're only legally obligated to pay $40. And unfortunately, the poor, unsuspecting customer doesn't find that out until after the damage has taken place and they receive their minuscule reimbursement. But for this specific moving company, this policy was never an issue because they didn't believe in this deceptive industry practice. They actually provide their customers with what was known as full replacement value insurance. So if they break the $5,000 TV, they reimburse the $5,000 TV and no questions were asked. But how could they afford this much more expensive insurance? Well, it was due to their extraordinary 3-step packing process that only their company offered. And thanks to this process, their actual breakage and damage totals were below 3%. And what little damage did occur typically involved just a dish or a plate, relatively minor items that had little or no replacement cost, and certainly no sentimental value that would create an emotional situation with their customers. This unique packing process allowed them to carry a $5,000 insurance deductible, and their premiums for this superior insurance were actually lower than the competitors that paid for inferior and deceptive insurance. Their 3-step packing process, coupled with their superior full replacement value insurance coverage, became their market dominating position. All that was left to do was to position that information in their ad and follow the conversion equation. So they first created a headline at the top of their yellow page ad that stopped the person looking for moving services in their tracks. This was step number one to address the main hot button issue or the problem that their prospects were looking to solve. In this case, it was damage. So the headline turned into this. Last year, more than $4,000 in damage and negligent lawsuits were filed against moving companies by outraged homeowners. Now, do you think this headline grabbed the attention of prospective movers? Well, you bet it did. But they didn't stop there. They engaged the prospect by promising them a solution to the problem that was referenced in the headline, in this case, damage prevention. So, what do you think of this subheadline? Ask any mover these 2 questions to ensure you won't be victimized or ripped off by deceptive industry practices. Because now that the prospect read the subheadline, do you think they wanted to immediately find out what those 2 questions were? Well, of course they did. And so next, the ad educated them by providing them with the two questions that the prospect should ask any mover they chose to contact. And these were the two questions. Do you follow a minimum 3-step packing process for every item that you place in the truck? And do you carry full replacement value insurance? And before they ran the ad, they knew that their competitors' answers to both these questions were no. And since they previously surveyed all of them, the ad educated the prospects on the realities of what actually takes place in the moving industry and highlighted this moving company's market dominating position that makes them the obvious choice to do business with. And if you look in the bottom right hand corner, their offer was a free moving company comparison checklist that highlights the survey they did, showing the prospect that they were the only moving company in town that offered these desired benefits. This made them the no-brainer choice in the moving industry, and the results they generated from this new ad sealed the deal. Instead of averaging just 70 calls per month, their new ad averaged 955 calls per month. Instead of a 16% conversion rate, the rate jumped to 68%. And their new ad generated so many new clients asking for their services, they had to partner with the 4 other competitors to handle the increased volume. And those 4 competitors bought this company out 9 months later for $2.3 million. All of this from simply implementing the conversion equation in the ad without spending an extra dime. So some may think budget movers got lucky because finding professional help is often frustrating and at times a crapshoot at best. And that's why I wanted to be the one to teach you this conversion equation of interrupt, engage, educate, and offer. The moving company was able to, with their ad, train their prospects on the relevant and important issues they needed to know when moving, so those prospects knew what to ask for when they sought out the services of a mover. And now that you know the conversion equation, you can use it when seeking out the professional help you need for your business. And you can do it just like the budget movers. You can ask the person looking to help you if they know the conversion equation. Because a true marketing professional will know this equation. And if they don't, run away as fast as you can. Oh, and by the way, did you notice that the information I just discussed also covertly covered mistakes 2 and 3? Because earlier I said the second biggest mistakes that small business owners make involve the fact that they don't know the fundamentals required to successfully market their business and attract as many new clients as their business can handle. Well, now you do know those fundamentals and you can use them to outmarket and outsell your competition. Because first, you just got to create a market dominating position for your business, then insert that position into your marketing by following the conversion equation to the letter. And the third biggest mistake small business owners make focus on the fact that they have no idea how to generate the immediate cash flow. So when you follow the conversion equation in every form of marketing you do, from your business cards to your company website, the financial results are instantaneous and immediate. So let's check out the next example and put a bow on this presentation. We're going to take a look at a child psychologist case study. This case study involved a Dr. John Smith. He was a child psychologist who specialized in helping parents with out of control kids. You know, the kids I'm talking about, the ones that are at the store yelling, screaming, throwing a tantrum, and are completely out of control. These kids range from the age of 6 years old up to teenagers. And Dr. Smith's original website had all the classic mistakes that are typical in small businesses today. He had the name of his practice at the top of his site. And the only thing resembling of what you may call a headline said parenting advice and resources from Dr. John Smith. So, do you think this headline appeals to a parent who's dealing with a screaming, out of control kid? No. Would that headline hit their emotional hot button? Do they really care about anything at all right now about advice and resources? Probably not. Or are his prospects looking for a solution to their specific problem? Yeah, that's what people do. They need the solution to their problems. So remember, you must always start your marketing with an interrupting headline that focuses on the problem your prospects are experiencing. Then you must have a subheadline that engages the prospect by promising them there is a solution to that problem. So again, the first two conversion equations components were what? You can put them in the comments. They were interrupt and engage. And that's the job of the headline and the subheadline. And this applies to every form of marketing, including websites. Dr. Smith's website headline, Parenting Advice and Resources from Dr. John Smith, does not address the problem his frustrated parents are experiencing with their child. And to make matters worse, his website had no subheadline whatsoever, so there's no way for him to engage his prospects to keep them interested. And in fact, it's doubtful that any prospect visiting the site will stay here more than a few seconds. But the latest research shows that the typical prospect visiting a website remains on the site for just 3 to 5 seconds. And if during that brief period of time they don't find something that looks like it'll provide them with the solution to the problem, they're gone for good. Again, the third component of the conversion equation says to educate the prospect. This simply means that you must educate them with what it is that makes your product or service so much better than your competition. So on a website, this is done with either the body copy, or in Dr. Smith's case, by a video. And all you got to do is just make it short and sweet when it's the first point of contact. And so you can offer much more information once you have them compelled to want to know more about what you do. And the final component of the conversion equation is the offer, a low risk, or better yet, no risk offer that gets them to take a specific action, such as request more information, take a test, register for a free 30-day trial, or an educational presentation, or something similar. The key here is to make the offer so compelling that it's literally irresistible to the prospect. In fact, you want them to be thinking to themselves that they would have to be an absolute fool not to take the offer. And Dr. Smith's offer was a white paper titled The Secrets for Parents, a special report on how you can learn the secrets of nurturing well-behaved children. But here's the problem. His prospects don't have well-behaved children. They have ones that are screaming, yelling, cursing, belligerent, back-talking, and completely out of control. Nurturing a well-behaved child is not the solution they're looking for. Getting their kid under control right now is what they're looking for. Can you see why Dr. Smith's website failed him in every area? The site wasn't building his business. It wasn't helping him generate the leads, attract new clients, or generate any additional revenue for his practice. It simply didn't follow the conversion equation. So Dr. Smith changed his website so it did follow the proven step-by-step roadmap. He placed a headline at the top of his site that said, "Are you sick and tired of screaming and belligerent attitude of your child?" Would you say now that this headline hits a major hot button for virtually every prospective parent that comes to the site? Do you think these prospects, the moment they read that headline, would immediately think to themselves that they have come to the right place where they can find a solution to the problem? In other words, did this headline just interrupt Dr. Smith's prospects? Well, of course it did. So now let's get those prospects engaged by promising that solution in the subheadline. It says, now you can discover the secrets to controlling your child and instantly restore peace and quiet in your home. And isn't that what all prospects want and will do almost anything to get? I know I would. As a dad of 2 boys, 9 and 11, peace and quiet is a dream. So, absolutely. So you can see how now the headline and the subheadline work closely together to interrupt and engage every single prospect who now comes to the site. And now that they're engaged, the video can spend 1 to 3 minutes educating the prospect about the fact that our good doctor has the solution they so desperately seek, and his offer has been changed so it's not only more relevant to the prospects, but it's so compelling it's virtually irresistible. The offer says, learn the secrets to gaining and maintaining complete control of your child in less than 60 seconds. So show me one prospective parent visiting the site that won't download that report. They all will. And when they do, Dr. Smith captures their contact information so he can continue to keep his prospects informed until they're ready to buy his services. The revised site exploded Dr. Smith's business to unprecedented levels. So now if you have a website and you now know how to implement the conversion equation, just like Dr. Smith, you too will have substantially higher engagement and conversion rates. So let's quickly recap this. The 3 biggest mistakes small businesses make. Again, mistake number 1, they fail to get professional help. Mistake number 2, They don't know the fundamentals required to successfully market their business and attract as many new clients as their business can handle. And mistake number three, they have no idea how to use their marketing to generate immediate cash flow. Now, here's how the conversion equation can help you systematically overcome all three of these mistakes. The conversion equation contains the fundamental components you need to ensure your business is successful from this point forward. The conversion equation will make your phone ring and position your business as the dominant force in your market. It provides the marketing foundation that will enable you to generate immediate cash flow, and you can use this information as a minimum standard when seeking out help for your business. Because when you overcome these three biggest lead generation mistakes, you will generate all the leads your business can handle and turn your dreams of actually owning your business into reality. So if you want proof, I want you to answer this one question. If I could provide your business with a lead generation system that would create such an outrageous lopsided advantage in your favor that your most affluent customers would beat a path to your door to buy what you sell without even asking how much it would cost, would you be interested in a 5-minute phone call with me? Because here's what I'm prepared to do for you. Provide you with professional help backed by a proven track record, teach you the basic fundamentals that will allow you to market your business successfully and help you to attract as many new clients to your business as you want, and help you develop a compelling marketing strategy that will generate immediate cash flow for your business. And I plan on doing all of this for you for free. I know it's crazy. It's a lot of time, effort, and energy to do all this. That's my gift to you during this festive season. So if you can give me 5 minutes, I'll prove to you that everything I've said in this report was 1,000% true. And I promise you will not be disappointed. So to get started today, this link still works. If you go to bkxxenterprises.agency/more leads, it will take you to a form. I will show it to you. Maybe if I can spell. All right, this is the page. It will redirect as long as you type it in right. It will redirect. Thankfully for the power of ClickFunnels and their redirect with the new rebrand. This is what I want you to do. You go to this web page, come here, you opt in. I will send you the presentation. It is an older one, but it's still the presentation. Okay. And on the next page, you will have the opportunity to book a time with me to go over your homepage and to get it to align with the conversion equation or any type of landing page or any type of offer that you are currently putting out in the market. And again, I plan on doing this for you 100% for free. Okay. All you got to do is just go to the site and type that in, and you will go here and opt in. And that's all you got to do. Simple. Look, this marketing stuff isn't that hard, folks. It just takes a little bit of thought behind it, knowing and understanding your customer. And I'm looking to help you out going into 2026 because it's going to be a crazy year. If you thought 2025 was weird, 2026 is going to be even weirder. And the advent of AI and artificial intelligence is it's going to be one wild ride. And I'm here to help you navigate those crazy waters So I appreciate you taking the time to hang out with me on this Wednesday evening and for going through this presentation with me. I'm wishing you the very best success between now and the end of the year and in 2026 and beyond. If you need anything, don't hesitate to reach out. Hit me up in the comments below. DM's always open as well. So with that, I wish you guys the very best and have a great night.